Yo, we talking about groceries on FBA. Yo, easy. Yeah. J to the O, the Mayos. Groceries on FBA. What you know about that? Step your game up, suck it.
All right, go ahead.
Hey guys, I appreciate you guys having. I know Sean is traveling in an undisclosed, maybe a little personal time that he probably deserves. So if you guys will bear with me tonight, I have a bit of a chest cold. So I'm going to be eating cough drop in here a little bit, but we'll get this and hopefully give you.
You're breaking up. Actually, we can't hear anything if you're talking right now. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
Here.
I hear you now. So you broke up after that. So.
Okay. To tell you what, let's see. Don't have.
Yeah, we can't hear you again, Chris. Sorry, everybody. Bear with us for just a minute. I think Christopher's having some trouble with his internet connection on his end, but we'll get him going in just a minute. John, while we're waiting for Chris, do you don't have sound at all? Or, well, I mean, I guess if you can hear us. You said, do you have any ideas? But was it just from him breaking up, or is there something else going on your end?
Is that any better, guys?
We can hear you.
What about now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay.
And see you. So far, it seems
Great. I switched bands on my router, so that should help.
all right. Good.
Okay. Sorry, guys. So there were three things that I wanted to kind of chat about tonight, and let me open up my notes, and we'll get started here. And Santosh, I lost the chat, so.
Oh, I can read it to you before you get started. So he said his first question is, how far into the next couple of days is it a good idea to source toys, considering the Amazon shipping deadline for Christmas, etc.?
Okay, yeah, let's go over that real quick. So, yes, there is a shipping deadline for Christmas, but I would not stop sourcing toys. Q4 does extend into January. Plus, there are always birthdays. I mean, prices stay pretty stable through the end of January, in my opinion. You've got people who've gotten gift cards, people who maybe didn't want to spend $300 for a Hatchimal but are happy to pay $200. You've got people who are buying gifts for people that may have just come into town. So holiday spending doesn't stop on December 25th. As a matter of fact, sometimes Christmas afternoon has been some of my best sales days over the past couple of Q4s. And I know other people that have had the same experience. So I wouldn't stop sourcing toys. I might slow down a little bit, but I would never stop sourcing toys. There's always a reason for somebody to buy a toy. Now, has anybody been going out and really hitting it hard on Cyber Monday to source themselves?
It might take everybody a few minutes. Sometimes the chat's a little bit more delayed.
Yeah.
But I can, you know what, do you want to re-ask it? I can always post it in there and people can go back. What was that?
I was just wondering if everybody's been hitting it pretty hard, because I think next I'm going to share my screen and kind of show everybody what I do inside of Tactical Arbitrage to source for Cyber Monday.
Okay. I just posted it. So if anybody has anything that, or maybe even just if you have been doing a great job, but you have some questions, maybe you guys hit some road bumps, or, you know, maybe even just like pairing with the deals versus using like cashback sites or anything like that it came to when you guys were sourcing or using it with Tactical Arbitrage, post it here. And then Chris said he's going to go ahead and share his screen, and I'm sure everybody's super interested to see what the great Chris Grant has been doing for all these Cyber Monday and Black Friday deals.
All right. So I'll give you guys one freebie since this isn't a group of 100 or so. But in my opinion, Kmart is one of the most underutilized stores because nobody really thinks about them. And they've got some great prices. Now, granted, they're not the best at shipping and things do come damaged, but my last several purchases from Kmart have actually done really, really well. So I'm going to show you guys one thing that a lot of people have had trouble with is when they're going into Kmart and other stores like Target and even Jet. They're clicking on these Cyber Monday here, and they're having trouble getting that to work with Tactical Arbitrage because sometimes these URLs get a little bit funny. Now, Jet looks pretty good, but if you shop the deals on Cyber Monday for Kmart, it has got a wonky URL, and it's not going to pull anything back for you in Tactical Arbitrage. So what you need to do is you actually need to go out and find the parent category, which you can either do with one of the bulk lists or you can do it manually. Let's just do toys. And we'll see here that 20007 is the parent category, and that's what we're going to want to use. Copy that. And then one of the things, and I know that Sean talks about Tactical Arbitrage, and I'm sure you guys have talked about it quite a bit. But one of the biggest obstacles I see is that people want to go too easy, or I'm sorry, too hard on their filters. So with Kmart, they don't have any extra % off for Cyber Monday. They just have a bunch of sales, whereas Target has a 20% off. So you want to make sure you're getting those store price reductions inside of Tactical Arbitrage. And then you want to try to play it loose with your filters. So, for example, when I did Kmart this morning, I ran it with a 200,000 ranks. So remove anything over 200,000 in toys. And then I wanted a 40% profit margin minimum with a $5 gross profit. And then if you're using a prep center, put that in there as well. Prep center I use is $1.35. I don't have to pay any sales tax. And you want to make sure that you get Amazon out of stock results. Now, Kmart does not support the remove out of stock results. That's just Target and Big Bad Toy Store and all those ones in there. But this will get you a lot of good deals to be able to look at. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. And what I'll do is we'll let this go for a second. I know it says response error, but that's not a big deal. We'll let this go for just a minute, and then we'll actually look at some of these deals live, maybe. Let's see why that's giving us an issue here.
Chris, Santosh said, where did you get the Kmart category ID again?
Oh, sure. So the Kmart category ID is, first of all, the easiest way to get it is with a bulk list. They're just gonna show you the category ID next to what category it is. But if you actually click on these menu items up here, we can click on toys, and you're gonna see it at the end of the B. So 2007. And then if we want to go over to electronics, it's this 123 number here. So it's usually after a B and a dash, and it's just that's the parent category on Kmart. There we go. All right, so we'll let this run for just a minute, and we'll find some deals live here. Now, one of the other places, and I know a lot of people are worried about getting their account shut down here, but Jet also has a lot of great deals. So I would suggest you look at Jet. Just be careful with the size of your orders. Don't go crazy. Maybe have them shipped to your house rather than a prep center. I would imagine that they're probably going to end up loosening up a little bit if Walmart and Jet kind of talk more, but they're still in the process of merging, and Jet didn't want to be reseller friendly. So just watch the size of your orders there, and you can make a ton of money on Jet.
And then whenever you have a moment, Christopher, I don't know if you're waiting on anything, but
Yeah.
Josh had a couple of additions just to that question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So he says he has the bulk list, but he was referring specifically to these special deals. Is there a special category ID for the Black Friday deals, or do you just use the parent category? And if he already has the bulk list, then I don't know. That he says, then I guess no need to do anything different. Yeah,
with Kmart especially, there's no need to do anything different. You just have to hit those parent categories. It looks like they've set up a special URL that is not normal for the Black Friday deals. So there's nothing for tactical arbitrage to pull from. Now that's not the case in all places. So, you can actually, if you go to Target, I'll show you guys an example here. Well, actually, Target probably won't be a good example because they're just doing an extra 15% off of everything. But there are other stores like Best Buy, actually. Best Buy has a Cyber Monday deals page, and you can actually source directly from the Cyber Monday deals page here. So it just depends on how tactical arbitrage reads the URL. If it's going to use a category ID like Kmart, then you're going to have to either do a block list with multiple categories, or you are going to have to just see if it's something that will allow you to use the URL like Best Buy. You guys will excuse my airheadness a little bit tonight. I'm filling in for some big shoes. All right, so we've got some deals here. Let's go and see what we've got. And hopefully you guys can take some of these away and actually buy some. All right, so once we have a few up on the page, what I do is I start looking through them to make sure that everything matches. And I try to do this as quick as possible. I do tend to sort by gross ROI. That way I can look at the highest paying items first. And then I just go really, really fast. So first thing I do is I open each one of these links in new tabs, and we go to Kmart first, see if it's available, which this one happens to be. You can get it for $11.50. We can see over here that you can sell it right now for $49.95. If you guys don't have this already, I would suggest you get it for free. It's flipping it. You can get the pro version for $9.99 a month. It's by Chris Green, but the free version does some cool stuff too. This is going to tell me what the average rank is over the past 90 days. If it's not a listing that's 90 days old, it'll tell you how old the listing is. So this one's 69 days old. And then it's going to tell me what the current rank is. And last time this measured was 5 hours ago, which means the last time that Keepa picked it up was 5 hours ago.
And you're talking about the Scan Power free version, right?
Yes, yeah, flipping it. They have a free version, and that's all. That's all I have.
And we actually, guys, you know, at any time you guys can go to. Right now, actually, the entire blog website is under construction because we're getting like all these updates and reconfiguring it so that it's more navigable for you guys. But all of the information is still there. So if you go to the suggested tools and the videos of tools and services that we suggest, we have a video with Sean that, or actually I think we have a couple of them, but they're there that helps, you know, if you guys aren't familiar with the Scan Power or with the free version of Scan Power. So you guys can go there to reflect back on anything that Christopher is referring to now too, to see exactly how to use it.
Perfect. And this is just a simple extension that just stays up here and there's nothing to do. You don't have to click on anything. It just shows up for you. So this gives me a really easy way to look and make sure that, you know, the average rank is where it should be. If it's something that maybe averages 1 million rank and it's just knocking it out of the park right now, I may skip over it. But this one looks like something that I'd probably pick up. I can see that the price is much higher than right now than normal. Looks like the average price is $17.95, but this is something that I would try to flip for Christmas, and then if the price came back down, I'd just get out of it. So not a lot of sellers, which is probably why the price is high, and probably not a bad buy. Actually, something I picked up earlier today. Well, let's look at a few more and see what else we've got. Got this Rubik's Cube game. I know that's a winner. I've already checked it. This is one I didn't see earlier, a Brainsaw Blaster by Nerf. Nerfs are usually great flips. It's got a great rank at the moment. Make sure it's in stock. They are in stock. Is Kmart okay with resellers? I have never had a problem with Kmart while reselling. Kmart is kind of a dying company. The whole Sears brand is kind of a dying company, and so I don't think they have too many issues because they really need revenue. Sometimes they will limit quantity, but there are a lot of people that do that. But they have so many products that are good for flipping that it's worth the time to spend some. It's worth your time to spend some time here and find some products to flip. And this one's a great example. This is actually one I did not see earlier today. Got a great rank, great 90-day average rank, and it looks like Amazon may have been in stock for a little while today, trying to match Kmart, but they're going to have a hard time keeping this in stock through the holidays. So right now it's over $60 to buy that, and it's still selling. So there's a lot of good stuff here. And if you guys have tactical arbitrage, this should be really easy to do for you, especially toys, but they've got stuff in every category. Anybody have any questions on how to do that? Anybody want to see maybe Jet or another company before we talk about some other things and take some questions?
Natasha had a couple questions, but whenever you want to get started.
let's see, we talked about the being okay with resellers. I've never had an order canceled from Kmart, and I've done some big ones, so I wouldn't worry too much there. Yeah, sometimes they don't allow more than 3 quantity, but that happens at a lot of places.
And then Jet, they're saying they would like to see.
All right, let's take a look at Jet. Let me cancel this one out. So the nice thing about Jet is they are a UPC website, and we also get to use their entire URL, which means you can do a couple of things. You can do a search, or we can look at the holiday deals, which are the Cyber Monday deals. I'm just going to go into the toys, so it's not a huge category. And let's go take a look and see what we can find here. You get to select the entire URL on Jet and just pop that into Tactical Arbitrage. Go ahead and do 10 pages, and then I'm just going to use my last filter. One of the other things, guys, is if you have the time, or if you're using a cache search, using this reverse search results for more sources from other UPC stores and even title stores can oftentimes show you items that may be even cheaper at other locations. I'm not using it now because I want to be store specific, but I do suggest using these as often as you can. It's amazing the price difference you can see from different stores on lots of items. Excuse me. And like we talked about, Jet is not necessarily the friendliest to resellers, but you just want to make sure that you're being careful with your order size. I don't know what the magic number is, so that's just kind of something you have to watch out for. Santosh says, if I'm doing the whole deals URL for Jet, how many pages would you opt for one and end at 100, since the main URL for the deals does not display the number of pages? Let's figure that out together. So I always double check this, but I would imagine that, say for this deals, it looks to be 7 pages. But what you can see, and we can't see it right now, is over here it will tell you how many products per page there are, and then I will always double check it. So, for example, it may say that there are, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Okay, so there's 36 here on this page. Let's just say that Tactical Arbitrage tells us that there's 36 products per page. So I would say, okay, these match, and so there's 7 pages to look through. If I'm not 100% sure, I won't normally go to 100, but I might go to 50, and then I'll just keep track of my log and see where things start not showing up. And then I may just stop it early. And that happens on occasion. Oh, yeah, good. So Jet does 24 per page. So that page was showing 36. So what we need to do is take 36 and multiply it by 7 and then divide it by 24 to know how many pages we need, if that makes sense to you guys. So the page was showing 36. There's 7 pages. That's 252 products divided by the 24 per page that Tactical Arbitrage sees. So we actually need to look at 11 pages on this to get the whole scan. All right, we're about halfway through and we've got 1 so far. So let's go take a look at it. And I do this just like I do Kmart or any other store. I like to check through them pretty quickly. I open them up in new tabs and double check that the price is right. So we've got $14.70. Tactical Arbitrage is picking up this 1442, which just means you'd opt out of free returns and pay by debit card. But I'll be honest with you, I'd go ahead and just pay the 1470 because I get to use my credit card for the points, and you'll get to have free returns. Not that you really should be returning anything, but you can also pick up multiples and get a discount as well. Come over here and take a look at Amazon, and we see that right now they're selling for about 45 and some change, almost 46. So it's got a good rank. It's got a good average rank. So this is probably something I'd go ahead and flip. It's probably going to be pretty popular for Christmas, and you've also got the new Star Wars movie coming out. So it's probably going to stay fairly popular. Would I place multiple orders of the same item if you find a really good deal and go deep on such an item? I have not purchased a ton from Jet, so I don't know what that magic number is or when they flag your account. You know, there are always ways around that. I wouldn't necessarily tell you to do this, but, you know, if you've got more than one card and you've got another address you can send things to, and you use a VPN, I use Hide My Ass VPN, which is like $9 a month. It's pretty easy to skirt around that, although you are breaking terms of service for jet.com if you do that, but it is a possibility. Let's see if we got anything else. Yeah, Santosh, they can. So I know of some people that have gotten their accounts banned for placing multiple orders, but you know, like I said, I don't know what that magic number is. So let me know how that goes. So it looks like Jet only had one item today, and you know, I would just keep checking this over and over again because things are going to change, and Jet does normally have a lot of good things to flip, especially when you can start getting those bulk discounts. And I'm pretty sure, let's see what kind of, you get a fairly good amount of cash back from uPromise, and it doesn't look like any gift cards from jet.com. There may be. I have to go double check another website, but yeah, just keep doing it that way. Anything confusing there I did with Tactical Arbitrage and Jet, or any other stores you want to see, especially for these sales holidays?
I haven't seen anybody post any other stores except for Jet.
So okay.
If there's one now, we can still do that. But
I know Sean has a ton of videos on Tactical Arbitrage, so it shouldn't be too difficult to kind of figure things out there.
Yeah, we have a whole free course and just a course for all of our members and videos and things like that. So
yeah. So the next thing I wanted to talk about tonight is we're getting to the end of the year, and it's time to start thinking about how to screw over Uncle Sam. None of us want to pay him what he wants from us, so it's a good idea to start buying products that you need for your business for next year. If you need a new printer, you need you want to take a course, you want to stock up on labels, you need a new computer. It's a good idea to start looking for it now. One, you can get a good deal and make yourself feel good, but two, it's also a great time to be able to write that stuff off before the end of the year. Granted, you do have a little over a month, but it's really time to start thinking about it now, because the more you can spend, the less you have to pay Uncle Sam, and I know everybody wants to do that. I know you guys. You guys have okay. We'll talk about that later. The other thing I wanted to really talk about is how to get out of your own way in 2017. And a lot of people are, work from their house like I do. I know Sean has a warehouse, and employees, and I'm not there yet, but hopefully will be. So what I decided to do this year is try to remove as many bottlenecks from my business as possible. And one of those was shipping. I have a serious problem with shipping. I tend to hoard a bunch of products, and then once it gets overwhelming and my wife tells me they have to get out of the house, then I start shipping because I don't like it. So if you can either hire a neighbor kid or use a prep center, and I'm sure Sean has some resources on prep centers that he would tell people to use, you should absolutely do that. Is that on the website too, Valerie?
Yeah, we have, if you guys go under the suggested tool, providers and tools providers, you'll see the list of prep and pack centers that we suggest. Some of them are in no tax and others are in, just in all the other locations. But we have a couple videos just going through some ideas when working with prep and pack centers, and then we also have the direct links and the information about the prep and pack centers that we suggest.
Perfect. So I started using a prep center, and it's probably one of the best things I ever did. I actually have two. So one I can use for retail arbitrage, which not everybody has the luxury of being able to do because there just aren't a lot of them. And then one for my online arbitrage orders, which goes to a tax-free state. So the other thing to do in 2017 is find as many of your bottlenecks or pinch points as possible, whether it's shipping, if it's finding products, if you're not good at it, one, learn from Sean and get better at it. And two, if you need to, get help. There are plenty of ways to be able to source without you necessarily having to do it. Which I also use a virtual assistant so that I can basically source 24 hours a day. They have deals ready for me when I get up in the morning, and then I source during the day in between my other duties, with my blog and the other things that I'm involved in. So, but find any pinch points you have and try to get rid of them. So, I wanted to see if anybody had any examples of what they feel might be a pinch point in their business, and maybe we can work through a way to figure out how to get past it.
And you guys can always come on too. If you don't want to just post it in the chat, you're welcome to come on and speak during the webinar.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to talk to somebody.
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that. I mean, anybody can just let us know. And you were saying, you were also mentioning your thoughts on taxes before. Were you going to touch on that?
I wasn't really going to go into sales tax. Is it okay to plug what you guys have coming up?
Yeah, I haven't posted about it just yet, but yeah, absolutely. There's only, I'm going to be posting about it this week. So yeah.
Okay. So I don't play a tax guru on TV. In my past life, I have made mistakes with the government, and I've learned a lot from it. So I try not to give too many tips. But when it comes to sales tax, I know that they're going to be doing a webinar with TaxJar, and I would suggest you be there. They're the go-to when it comes to Nexus and all those confusing things about charging sales tax when you're selling on Amazon, and where you need to and where you might not need to, and what states do you have product in that you actually, it's very confusing. So I'll leave that to the professionals. On the tax thing that I was going to talk about is, and we touched on this a little bit, reducing your tax burden to Uncle Sam. If you made a lot more money this year, maybe you're still working a 9-to-5, and you've also got, $10, $20, $50,000 in extra income from your side business. It's imperative to knock that tax burden down as much as you can. So you should read the rules. But if you're working from home, you need to know about what kind of deductions you can take for your home office, and you need to know all of the loopholes that you can get by with. Now, I do this by actually reading IRS code, which is boring as sin, so I don't suggest it, but it is very helpful. You can get a great CPA or somebody to do your taxes as well, but I would suggest trying to find somebody who knows what they're doing when it comes to e-commerce, because a lot of them don't. But the other thing is go out and spend some money. Buy some products that you need for your business. Buy a new computer, buy an extra computer, buy an extra printer, because if you're shipping as much as you should, your printer's probably going to die. And that's really what you need to do to try to keep as much money in your pocket as possible. Sans opening a bank account in the Virgin Islands or something. All right. Did anybody want to come on live and talk pinch points or anything?
I don't see anybody jumping up and down, raising their hand.
Hello.
Oh.
Hey.
Hey, Chris. Raleigh Santosh. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Good, good. Had a couple of quick questions, more like you were talking about, those bottleneck spots.
Mm-hmm.
One I have a challenge with sometimes is repricing. I'm using Bico.
Mm-hmm.
So my process is first I kind of have a tracking sheet, then I capture my cost, and then afterwards I have to go into Bico and put my, I upload my Excel sheet. But sometimes they don't have the, until you create your listing, they don't have that information. And then also if you keep a wide margin of from your minimums and max, you get delisted on Amazon. So it seems to be taking a little bit more time just keeping up with my repricer. So just wanted to share, some quick questions on that or thoughts.
Absolutely. Yeah. So not a whole lot of people know this, but I actually sell a fair amount of books. And I get a lot of my books delisted because Amazon thinks I'm priced too high, even though that's what the market is for that particular book. So, and it was causing a lot of headache. There was one time when I had 200 items delisted, and that's when I hired a VA. You can either get one pre-trained, from a company like FreeUp, who they have some e-com experience, or you can go out and find your own and train them yourself, which is not a bad idea either. And I let them do it. I have them work like 2 hours a day. If I get anything delisted in my account, and they can only look at a few things, so they can't go in and make changes to a bunch of stuff. But they know what rules that I have in place for them, and they fix all those things that get delisted. That way I don't have to mess with it.
But then do they reprice it? Like, for example, if I'm presuming Amazon is delisting them because your current price set up by the repricer might be above their list price. So do they go into your repricer to change it, or on Amazon Sales Central? How do they make it live again?
Yeah. So what you do is you go into Amazon Seller Central, into your stranded inventory, and you're able to see what items have been delisted due to pricing. Yep. What they consider a pricing error, and then you can actually make a little change in there, and Amazon will then relist it back at the price you set, and they'll ignore any MSRP and stuff like that. You may have a suppressed buy box, which is something I'm used to with books, but a suppressed buy box doesn't really mean anything. So they actually need to do it inside of your Seller Central account.
Okay, they have to do it not inside the repricer. But if you do it inside the Seller Central account, but and you bring it lower, let's say I'm delisted, for example, maybe my price is $100 at the moment, but my repricer, I have a minimum set for maybe 95 and a maximum of 145. So if I bring it back down to 96 on Amazon Seller Central, will the repricer go back up and make it again 145 and get delisted?
That is a possibility. I'll show you how to get around that. I stopped sharing my screen for just a moment because I'm going to get into my account, and I'll show you guys what I mean here. Okay, so I actually haven't had, I'm actually in the process of finding a new VA to do this for me. But I have 97 items stranded in my inventory at the moment. And yeah, you know what? I don't care. You guys can see what my prices are. Let's see here. This one. Okay, so here's all my stranded inventory. And a couple of these just need to be changed and fulfilled by Amazon because they got silly in here. Let's find one that is, here we go. Don't want to create a removal order. Not what I want to do. Sorry guys, I haven't done this in so long. I let somebody else do it and I forget what I'm doing here. Sorry, let's go to price alerts. And what you're going to see here is you're going to see the price on a book that I have. You can see that it's inactive for a potential high price error. So what you can do to make sure that this doesn't happen again is, so most of my books have a pretty wide berth on the pricing. Let's just say this particular book, I want my minimum price to be $10. And let's say I want my maximum price to be $120. So you want to make sure to fill in both of those there. Click on Save. Click Reactivate. And save again, and then you shouldn't have an issue in the future. And what you'll see... shoot, I'm not sure why I did that here. But anyway, it will... you'll be able to fix that. Well, now it's acting silly. Bear with me a second. Let's try this on another one. Let's do $10 and $75. Oh, sorry. That's because it takes a few minutes to be processed. So once this will process through and then you reactivate it, you shouldn't have that issue again in the future.
Oh, you just add the minimum and max prices. You don't actually change your price for shipping. You just change your minimum and max.
Yeah. Oh, these are, I don't MF anything. These
yeah, they're all FBA, of course, huh?
Yeah, these books are all FBA. So I don't charge any shipping or anything like that.
Yeah, but I mean the column, your price column here, you don't change anything there. You just change your min and max, and that's about it to reactivate it and keep it going.
That's exactly right. Yep. And then I let my repricer change any pricing here in the price category. I just change the minimum and the maximum. That way you don't get alerted in the future of this kind of issue.
Oh, so it's not based on it should not because of your actual current price. It could be that it doesn't have a min and max, and that's why Amazon is triggering it out for a delisting.
That's a possibility. I don't, these are just for your account. They're not for the actual listing itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So Amazon has MSRPs, on a lot of things, but they don't have an actual min or maximum that you're allowed to charge on anything that I know of.
Gotcha. But this has got nothing to do with Amazon's, their own repricer, right? I mean, so what I'm doing right now is I go fix it in here, and then I go back into because I'm not sure where exactly I really need to be fixing it. If I need to go back into my repricer and do it one more time and keep the same mins and max, but that shouldn't matter, right?
Yeah,
I can just fix.
Yeah, that should not matter. Just go into your inventory and go to your price alerts, and then I like to put a nice wide berth on the maximum price, and then once you reactivate everything, you shouldn't have that issue again on that particular product.
Gotcha. One more question on a workflow, if you're done showing us how to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
How do you keep up with your, you might be using a VA, but how do you keep up with your, inventory, how much you're sending to Amazon and how much got, lost or destroyed? Do you have some workflow process for that?
Yeah, so I was doing it by hand and I was running the reports and I wasn't doing as often as I should. So there was one year where I waited a whole year and then got reimbursed like $5,000 from Amazon. And I knew that was not a good idea to do. So I started using Refund X-Ray, and I let them handle it now. They let me know what cases I need to open. And then I just open the cases when they tell me to, because that's my whole philosophy is that even though this is a business where I do need to keep my finger on the pulse, I want to be as inactive on as many of the parts of the business as I can, so that I can really focus on the parts of the business that make me money, which is spending money on product. And that's what I'm the best at. So I went ahead and just picked up a service to do that for me.
And this one also reconciles whatever you send, and as compared to what Amazon finally checks in as well?
They're supposed to, yes.
Gotcha.
If you want to be 100% sure, that would be something where I'd hire my own virtual assistant. Things are going to fall through the cracks, and it's never going to be 100%, but having a service or a VA do that is probably worth the investment.
Got you. And how did you find your VA, if you don't mind me asking? Is it through...
So before FreeUp was around, I used Upwork, and I still have one virtual assistant from Upwork, and I have one virtual assistant from FreeUp.
Okay, cool.
And we have a bunch of videos as well. If you go to the course section, in the video section, there's ones with Nathan Hirsch, who was FreeUp, and then we also have ones specifically on Upwork. There's one on hiring a VA with Nate McAllister, who did, he launched a book and a bunch of things this year about VAs. So we have a bunch of content that you can refer to in the video section of the blog.
Awesome. I'll look it up. Thank you. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, thank you, man.
I'm going to mute myself again.
All right. Well, that's pretty much all I planned. I didn't plan a whole lot. So if nobody else has any questions or anything, I would imagine this may end a little bit earlier than normal.
No, you're good. It was great. Sometimes we have early nights, sometimes we go longer, and sometimes we're right on time. So we definitely appreciate you coming on and talking with everyone. I know that Sean and I both appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do so.
Happy to do it.
All right. Well, if nobody else has anything more to ask or say, then we will go ahead and wrap this up. I hope everyone had a great holiday. You got to eat some good food with your families, and we will see you next week.
Oh, hold on. I didn't realize Sean was here. Sean was watching over us. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah, he's been sitting in. He might be driving though. I'm not sure.
Oh, Sean's talking, but you're muted, Sean.
Oh, geez. Okay, let me start over. So I don't know if Chris talked about this. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if Chris talked about this, but as we get to the end of the year, you really want to spend as much money as you can. because it seems kind of counterproductive, but you're going to owe taxes on whatever profit you've made. And I'm sure all of you guys have made some kind of profit. So you would think you want to sell as much as you can, but really you want to buy as much as you can and have as much cash left over, as little as possible. So, you know, any kind of software packages, if you can, if you're paying for something monthly and you have extra money at the end of the year where you're going to have profit and not actually be in the negative after computing all of your, you know, mileage or other expenses you have for your business, phone bills and all that. So if you can spend as much as you can, if you're paying for scan power, for example, by the month, you know, you might want to prepay for the year. I know Chris Green runs a deal right before the end of the year where you can prepay for a whole year at a significant discount. And then, you know, you're not only are you going to be saving money, but you're also going to have less taxes to pay. You know, as well as, you know, any software packages, any hardware purchases, you know, stock up on labels and boxes and tape and, you know, an extra printer if, you know, if you're having problems getting everything out, you know, get a whole other setup, you know, a computer and a printer and whatever else you can that's going to help you out that you may need down the road within the next year, because it's going to save you a ton of money in taxes and it may put you in a higher bracket. You know, so instead of owing 14%, you know, you might be owing 20% in taxes. So, you know, spend as much as you can, as well as, you know, any new courses or programs, or if you're using, you know, if you're buying my lists, that's the other thing I wanted to mention, but, you know, if you're buying my lists and you want to buy a bundle of them that you've been holding off on, now might be the time. This is really going to be the most off that we're doing right now. And that's not the whole point of this, but we got 30% off. It's ending like tonight in like 3 hours. We've never given this much off except for the one Black Friday class we did. So from Black Friday to Cyber Monday, I'm doing 30% off of all my lists, including my bundles. So some of them you probably get 60, 70% off because they're already severely discounted. So if you buy any of my bundles or single lists and use Black Friday for the discount code, you're going to get 30% off of that price. It's not going to be that cheap anytime this year, and we've never made it that cheap. And check every other software tool you're using, and if you have the money, buy that. And I mean, everybody should have the money over the next month, because if you're not making enough to get a discounted, you know, yearly package on something, you're really doing something wrong. You need to get a hold of me and see why you're not making any money, because at this point you should be making a lot of money compared to whatever you're doing. So, I mean, my making a lot of money may not be the same as yours, but you should be making significantly more now than you have any other time of the year. And reinvest that money. Reinvest it before the end of the year. Spend every penny you can now instead of the end of the year, as well as the Mastermind. We do a special deal once a year, and that's going to be between Christmas and New Year's, where you can pay for the whole year in advance at quite a big discount. We have a lot of subscribers from last year, or the first year we did it, where you can pay for the year and you're going to get a discount. It's the only time. We never give discounts in the Masterminds because it's really not fair. If you paid $100, and we have older subscribers. If you're a newer subscriber, you pay $100. Older subscribers, when we first started, we were only charging $50 a month. I mean, which is a ridiculous deal. So the only way, and if you ever cancel, you can't get back in at that price. So it's only because they signed up there. We don't discount our memberships, because if you're paying $100, somebody else signs up, you know, we give them 80 or 90. It's just not fair. So the only way to get a discount for the Mastermind, you know, if you're doing well, you know, you have some extra money, we're going to give you a discount for paying by the year. I'm not sure how good that is, because last year the price just went up to $100 a month. So it's really, it's really in your best interest. If you don't think you want to be in the mastermind for another year, then obviously don't do it. But look at all your other packages. Whatever you're paying, you usually get pretty good discounts by paying by the year, especially, at that end of the year. It's always in, and if you have a software package that's not, that doesn't do that, I know Tactical Arbitrage isn't going to do that, and it's just because almost everybody that they have is affiliates, and it's really hard in his setup to do that. But most software that you have monthly is probably going to have some kind of a yearly deal. And if they don't, ask them. I'm sure they'll do something for you, because they'd rather have, a payment now instead of having to worry about maybe you canceling at some point. If you're locked in, it's always going to be in your best interest. And, if you made a lot of money, go buy a car. Buy it now. Don't buy it, don't buy it next year. If you're planning on buying a vehicle for your business, then, or if you need a trailer for hauling your stuff around, or anything that you can pay for before the year ends, is really going to save you a ton of money. So I think I went on for like 10 minutes about that, but it's really important. It's really important for your business to be able to do that. No, of course not. It doesn't have to be in the business. If you're talking about a vehicle now, I still have my vehicles are personal, and you really have to have a specific thing going on. Okay, you are talking about a vehicle. So you will usually get, I'm in Florida, but it's federal for that. There's no Florida sales tax. So I think we get like 26 cents a mile. So if you own, and it's never really been a good idea for me, and I've got one of the best accountants. I'm going to try and get him to do a webinar, but he's a CPA. He has a PhD in accounting, and he's on the ball about everything. There's nothing he's never been able to help me with. And he says, don't buy it for your business, because you get 26 cents a mile. You get reimbursed for all your, if you need repairs, you can charge that to the business based on the percentage of, the driving that went to the business. So if 80% of your driving went to that, you get an oil change, the business can pay for 80% of that. So you can write that 80% off. Plus, it may only cost you 10 cents a mile. If you get 30 cents to a mile and it only costs $2 a gallon, or 30 miles to the gallon, it costs $2 a gallon, we're talking about a very small cost to your vehicle. If the business owns it, then you're going to have to, the business is just going to pay for the fuel. You don't get reimbursed. What did I say? I said 26. I think it's like 54 cents. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
so
54.2 now.
It's 54.2 cents a mile that you get. If you get 30 miles to a gallon, what is that? $15? We're talking like 15, 16 bucks you get for every gallon of gas you're using. So, you made $13 a gallon profit, not counting the upkeep, which the business can also pay for. Everything you buy doesn't have to be in the business name. Now, if you're in a corporate structure, the rules completely change. But, even when I work for other people, we still got reimbursed for mileage. So, I would keep that vehicle in your personal name. So you're able to reduce your income. Chris said that, okay. So Chris reduced his income by about $15,000 last year for mileage. Yeah, so it's huge. I would probably keep that vehicle in your personal name, but like I said, it's going to cost. Those costs are going to go over to the business, and if you buy something that uses less mileage, less whatever, they can pay for upkeep. They can pay for any of that. So it just depends on how you have it set up currently, but reimbursement usually is going to do much better than just buying it. But the business can buy a trailer. The business can buy, plenty of stuff associated with that. So, you know, like I said, buy whatever you can, and look at our list. I don't know if Valerie, do you have the link for that?
Our list.
To go to our new list of all of our lists for tactical arbitrage.
Yes, a link to all the lists. Yeah, 1 second.
Here, I got it. I'll post it in here. If you guys haven't, I mean, it looks so pretty now. Valerie's done such a great job with this. So I'll just post this link in here. And then you can see all the single lists, all the bulk lists, and make sure you use that at checkout. We can't give any partial refunds for anything through Gumroad. So if you don't use that, that coupon, it's going to expire at midnight tonight. And you get 30% off. As a Mastermind member, you get 25% off all the time. We've never given anyone more than that. We do a deal from Black Friday to Cyber Monday, and then we're going to do a deal for yearly subscriptions to our different plans from Christmas to New Year's. And, you know, that's it. But you always get 25% off. But this is going to be the best discount you're going to get all year, probably till this time next year. So any other questions on that or anything? I'm sure Christopher Grant covered everything you could have asked. And okay, I guess not. And any other tax questions, you know, go ahead and let me, you know, send me or Valerie a message, and, you know, we can help you with anything as far as that goes. But as far as the end of the year taxes and sales tax are completely different. You know, your income tax is federal. All those sales taxes are for the individual states. So those rules are completely different. All right, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. You guys can wrap it up. I'll see you guys later.
Bye. All right, Christopher, did you have anything else to add to that, or are you good to go?
No, I'm great. He hit it right on the head.
Great. All right. Well, everybody, thanks again for joining us. Once again, we hope that you all had a great holiday, enjoyed the time with your family. Thanks for joining us today, and we will see you next week. Thank you, Christopher, for coming on.
Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye.